Hello everybody, Ian Robson here, welcome back to Project Cars. So last time we did a little race with a supercarts, and I've been invited to do a race with these cars, like the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. So let's go ahead and try the, just to get a feel for what these cars are like. I don't know what I'm trying to think of the name of the car I'm thinking of. Goompart. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, so this is the next race on the list. This is an invitational, I think, in this scenario. I realized that you can hear my steering wheel in the background of the other video, and it's foggy out there today. Ooh, look at this guy. This guy's rear-wheel drive, I suppose. This is going to be a little bit different to drive than the other car I was driving, the supercart. So they do have some variations of cars, which is really nice as well. So if you're like me and you wanted some variation, listen to the engine. Holy smokes. Now I don't have, these are rear-wheel drive cars, so if well, it's not too bad. It'll probably be worse if I try to do it from a standstill, if I try to gun it. What are the brakes like? Ooh. Yeah. You can feel the back end whip around there when you put your foot down too much. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I realized you could hear the steering wheel a little bit from the force feedback in another video, so I apologize for that. I don't know how can I fix that, just based on where my microphone's placed. I don't know how other guys do it. They probably don't use these types of microphones. So one thing that I've kind of realized is, well, this is the same race I just did, actually. It feels the same way. Different types of cars, though. It's interesting to see how the same race can seem so different with a different car. Like this one, you can't just whip it around the same way, because it's just what happens is if you put your foot down, if you jam on the brakes, you can really see the problems you run into. And also, you can't. There we go. Also, you can't brake and turn at the same time in this game, I realized. Apparently that's a no-no. I don't race enough, apparently, to know that. But anyhow, that is the way it is. So these are just the laps to get you familiarized with the car / the track. So in these types of races, when it's not the supercarts, these ones I'm not as good at, I discovered, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to give this a little bit of a go and see how it is. Oh, that's bad. One thing I'm still trying to figure out is the turning radius of my wheel. Because it's not Farm Sim or Euro Truck where having like 900 degrees of rotation is fine. When you're in a racing game, that's a little bit too much, I discovered. Because you're like having to like hand over hand the wheel and turn it, and it doesn't work so well. So right now I think I have it really, really low. I think I have it set to like 180 degrees, something a little bit too little. But I'll have to figure it out eventually and try and adjust it accordingly. Go through the turn and then gun it. I don't know, you kind of learn like the little stuff from racing as you go along. It's kind of, you get better at hitting the apex of the turn and then accelerating through the turn a little bit, so I'm not that's that turning thing again. So as you can see, these cars are a little different than the other ones. Off track, well, good thing it's not qualifying. But these ones are a lot different than the other supercarts. Every car acts a little differently, and that makes sense, right? Because considering it's a type of car. So, anyways, so what I'll do is I'll do a couple more laps here and see if I can't get a feel for the car a bit better, and we'll come back and do a couple qualifying laps. So, what I'll do is I'll come back in a sec. I'll see you guys. Alright, so here we are qualifying. Go, go, go! I have a sneaky suspicion I'm not going to do well in this race. What we're going to try and do is a little qualifying here and see if we can't place maybe in the top 10 or something. like I said before, I have the transmission right now in automatic, just to make my life a little bit easier for the time being. Once I get better at the game, maybe I'll switch to either the flappy paddle box, excuse me, or the actual shifter. It depends on the. It seems to depend on the vehicle, because some vehicles wouldn't be a problem. Wow, really, car? Some vehicles wouldn't be a problem with the shifter on the G27, and some of them actually would be. I suspect that this car wouldn't be too bad with the shifter, but most other cars, like some of the faster cars, might be a bit more difficult to work around with it. So, although I can switch it into gear, which is kind of weird, but it just switches back to the 4th gear. So right now, my biggest the biggest thing I've run into is the ABS brakes. So when you are when you're driving around or when you have to slow down around a corner and you end up hitting the brakes, end up just sliding through. So one of the interesting things I've discovered, at least. This is like the very first I don't know, fairly hardcore racing game, I guess. Because I haven't, I have Dirt 2, but never really played it much because it wasn't, the problem I ran into with Dirt 2 all the time is you needed the Windows Live, and it was terrible. I hated it. Alright, let's see if we can actually put a lap on the board here. This is lap 1 for us. That was the warm-up lap. Also, apparently pumping your brakes works a bit better than just slamming on the brakes. I've discovered as well. It works like that in real life, but usually most cars these days have ABS brakes, so it's not a big deal. Come on, get out of the way. Most cars have ABS these days, so it's not a big deal if you hit the brakes. Whereas back in the olden days, it used to be a big problem if you actually hit the brakes, because what would happen is your tires would lock up and you'd slide all over the place. And that's like one of the worst things that can happen in the winter in Canada. Like seriously, like especially with all the snow we have here. Because if you hit the brakes and you slide in the winter, it's like one of the worst things. Alright, let's just glide through here, and then gun it. There we go, nice. So, the things you learn when you race. This isn't as hardcore as iRacing up by a long shot, or R Factor I guess would be the other one. Or I think Assetto Corsa is also probably a bit more of a racer than this one is, or like a bit more hardcore, I guess. But this works for me. It's kind of like a on the sim side, but not a crazy amount. So, all right, there we go. Apparently, we just got a fastest lap. I don't know how, but we did apparently. That's pretty sweet, actually. Honestly, all I did was stay on the track. So I may, like, that's the problem I run into right now is, come on, get around the turn. So, that's what I kind of realized, like, when I am able to make it around the track, I can actually place fairly well, but staying on the track with all the helping aids turned off, basically, it makes it a little more difficult, but it makes it a lot more fun too. It's more realistic. You definitely feel the car a lot more in that scenario, so I like it at least, so. Oh, that's too fast. That's too fast. See? Told you it was too fast. I have damage turned off. As some people have noted, they are pretty... oops. As some people have noted, the AI is pretty aggressive here. So I have it turned off for the time being, and I'm not a good enough driver to have that turned off. So what I've been doing so far is just having the damage turned off, but some of the other aids are damage turned off, the other aids turned off as well, just because it makes it a bit more playable for me without having to worry about all that, so. But we're in first position so far. And hopefully we can keep it throughout the qualifying. I don't think we will, but it's always a possibility. It's a flying lap, so it should be all right. But it'll be curious to see whether someone else can do better. Although it's funny with these cars, it seems, well, this car at least, it seems like if you hit the gas, you actually end up steering better than when you don't. I'm really, apparently I brake really, really late. And I've gotten myself into trouble because of that more than once now. I guess because the difference between these cars and the little super carts. So you can brake super late with the super carts and it doesn't make a difference at all. Or very little difference. But these ones, if you brake too late, you're going to be sliding into the turn. So, I don't know. That's that same turn I did the last time, too. Arrgh. Alright, so I'll come back when I'm finished with the qualifying, and hopefully we'll stay in first place. Alright, looks like we ended up in first place, which is kind of cool. So let's see if we can replicate that in the actual race itself, and stay on the track. So there's 3 laps? Okay. Hopefully I don't screw up too bad. So that's the car we're driving. Looks like a Goomport. I'm not sure what kind of car it is. But it's fun to drive, so. Alright. So this is lap 1. We're in pole position. So right now, this is a nice thing about qualifying, because when you're in pole position, you don't have to deal with all the cars around you. Or at least not as much. This is the funny part about playing with other cars versus just driving around the track, because you can usually get a really good time just by yourself, but there's nobody else on the track, right? So that does make it a little bit more interesting when you have other people. I'm trying to figure out what the stuff, I don't know if it's brakes, but you see like little, it looks like rocks or something almost that come off the back of the car every now and then. So let's see if I can't get around this guy real quick. Oh, always. Oh, if this was iRacing, I'd be kicked out so quickly. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't go for iRacing in the end, to be honest with you, because I do things like that on occasion by accident. Oh, what are you doing, Ian? What are you doing? Get back on the track. Oh, that's terrible. So we're in 9th right now. Hopefully we can make that a bit better. And hopefully, we'll see what happens, I don't know. It's only the first lap, so there's still 2 laps to improve upon that. Hopefully now that the tires are warmed up a little bit more, we'll be able to... someone else just took out the sign there. Hopefully we'll be able to get a couple positions, but we'll see how it goes. I don't think that's going to happen today. We could reset it, and that's one of the reasons why I have the AI turned. That's why I have the damage turned off, just because the AI is pretty aggressive, actually. And according to what I've read and what I've seen, they will jump on you, literally in some scenarios, and it can be kind of annoying, because you're like, oh look, there's my damaged car. No fault of your own either all the time, so that can be the problem. Wow, you can really feel the car like wobble when you hit those brakes. If you have ABS turned off, which is kind of cool actually. Am I gonna be able to get the inside line on this guy? No. Sorry. Sorry. But sometimes, this is a scenario where I'd probably be like, let me just reset the race and try it again. But for your viewing pleasure, I will continue to race and see if I can't make up some positions here. I feel like I should be racing in NASCAR, actually. Because the way I end up racing, I just bump people every now and then. So I know in NASCAR that's accepted to a certain extent. So, I don't know. Wow, see, he just like totally ran into me there. Oh well, this is why damage is turned off. I'm not in it for full-scale sim. If I wanted that, I would play iRacing against other people, and then I would really piss some people off, probably. Not intentionally, of course, but... Alright, we're gonna be able to make it around this turn without that guy bumping us. There we go. 15th place! This is lap 3. I don't think we're gonna get anything higher than that, so... But like I said, I'm not as good with these cars as I am with the karts for the time being, and that's the reason why I just started there, is because I don't play enough sim racing games to be able to be good at all the different types of races, so all the different types of cars yet, so. And I haven't really picked one that I'm really good at. Oh, this turn kills me every time. There we go. Actually made it that time. Go figure. You place in first on the qualifying, and then when it comes to the actual race, you botch it on the first turn almost. Apparently we're going too fast. I think that's every time I've hit that turn, that's where I've screwed it up, I think. 15th place. Oh well. So there you go. That's whatever this car is called. I don't know what it is. Can I look down? 7, whatever that stands for. So there you go. That's my horrible race. 15th place. Yikes. I'm sure we could probably do better, but we'll keep it. I don't need to have a flawless record. Just being realistic. Alright folks, that was race number 2, or one of the invitational races through the career. What do we have? Probably gonna have to. Fantastic job. That puts you in a great position for the race. Okay, great. I'm happy that puts us in a great position. So, what else do we have? What's the next one? It's probably a kart racing one. No, it's the same type of cars. Anyways, folks, that'll be it for today. My name's Ian Robson. This has been Project Cars once again. And if you'd like to see more, as always, leave a comment below. And perhaps if we can set up a race, maybe that'd be kind of cool too at some point in the future. Anyways, I will catch you guys later.